This is the caucus meeting of December 21st, 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, pursuant to the applicable portions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law, adequate notice of this meeting has been given. This meeting is posted on the bulletin board located in the corridor of this building and published in the newspaper on January 10th, 2020. Councilman Bacchione will lead in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Councilman Bacchione?
Here.
Councilwoman Gingrich? Present. Councilman Burns?
Here.
Councilman Signorelli? Here. Councilman Guadagno?
Here.
Councilman Gross will be absent this evening. He's been in the hospital and back out and still having issues. Council President Buccio.
Here.
Can I have a motion to have a council person run the meeting?
I make a motion, Jim Burns.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Yeah, Bruce.
Thanks, Jim.
Are you moving, or am I just giving you the
Keep
gavel?
it short.
Give me the go. Good evening. Approval of official minutes?
No,
That's
you're
the
on
wrong one.
Oh, give me one.
Blame it on me, I gave him the wrong one.
Discussion by administration.
Okay, discussion by administration. 4A.
Thank you. Hopefully this microphone will pick it up. Mine doesn't seem to be coming on, but I think that's probably reading well. Thank you. Letter A is the cancellation of taxes for 100% disabled veterans. There's 2 properties, actually 4 properties, that are all, thank you, on for tonight for 100% of the deduction. It's block 4.21 lot 6, block 9.44 lot 61, block 4.279 lot 40, and block 1840.05 lot 3. And they're on the official agenda as items number 17.1, 17.2, 17.3, and 17.4. Letter B is a refund from code enforcement for a certificate of occupancy fee that was not needed. In that case, we returned the whole fee. It's for block 4.205, lot 44, and it's on the official agenda as item number 17.5. Letter C is also a refund, but for the construction department for work not performed. In that case, we do keep an administrative part of it and return the balance. It's block 1221.02, lot 3, as well as block 837.02, lot 2.02. They're on the official agenda as items number 17.6 and 17.7.
Item 4D is the Berkeley Township Sewer Authority surplus. This is the annual request of surplus from the Sewer Authority, which is based upon a statutory formula, and that is on the official agenda number 17.8. Item number 4E is cancellation of stale dated checks. We've gone through the various different funds, and there are a few, about 5 different checks that are more than 6 months old. Some are replacement checks, so we're canceling those. It's a cleaning up of the books. We're canceling approximately $7,000, and that is on the official agenda number 17.24. Item 4F is another annual resolution for the 2020 deferred central regional and the local school taxes. These are the deferred school charges. This doesn't increase or decrease taxes. What it does is, because of the timing of the year, the schools are on a fiscal year, the municipalities are on a calendar year. Certain school taxes are deferred, Again, that doesn't mean that they're not paid, they are. And that is on the official agenda number 17.10 and 17.11.
Thanks, Fred. Letter
G.
G is another refund, recreation beach permit fees. These were annual passes that people, a person ordered them late at night, thought it didn't go through, ordered them again within an hour, and it was good for us. First, the person only ordered 4, then they ordered 5. So then they contacted us right away and said they didn't mean to get them both, so we're gonna give them back to 4. And they're obviously for the 2021 season, which hasn't happened yet, so we feel comfortable recommending a refund. It's on the official agenda as item number 17.12. Letter H is about 2 different shared services agreements with the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office, and I think it's appropriate if Chief Santucci wants to speak to those.
Sure. 4H is that shared service agreement with the prosecutor's office. Number 1 is a DWI enforcement grant. Just allows for officers to be hired for additional DWI patrols. And then number 2 is a DRE grant. That stands for Drug Recognition Officer. We have one officer, Patrolman Varaday. He's a drug recognition expert. He's gone to schooling basically it's for detection of different narcotics other than alcohol for enforcement, and he gets paid, any call-outs that he does for enforcement of that, he gets paid for that grant. And they're on the official for 17.13 and 17.14.
Item 4I is authorizing participation in the NASPO Cooperative Purchasing Organization. This is a national co-op, and this will allow for Verizon Wireless Apple devices currently use it, they just have a new contract. This is on the official agenda number 17.15. Item 4J is the Ocean County Road Department Schedule C agreement. Again, this is an annual agreement we have with the county for various road department improvements through a shared service or engineering services with the County of Ocean. Same amounts that we had in there last year, an amount not to exceed $50,000 for the road department, $20,000 for engineering. That is on the official agenda number 17.22.
Thanks, Fred. Letter K is also cancellation of taxes for 100% disabled veteran. It's on block 594, lot 1, but this one is spoken about separately because it's only for half of the property because the person is only co-owner of the property. That resolution is on the agenda, is the official agenda, as item number 17.21.
Item L is, again, it's more a lot of year-end cleanup resolutions tonight. This being another one, it is for cancellation of, let's see, this is K? That's L. L, cancellation of appropriations in the current fund, which are no longer needed for this year. And those funds will go right into the fund balance or surplus to be utilized in 2021 or thereafter. That is on the official agenda number 17.25. Item M, 4M, are budget transfers. Once again, cleanup for the year end. There's certain budget transfers that are still required to cover some of the departments. This has been a very interesting year, especially with the pandemic and dealing with COVID. So that's why we have 3 transfers this year at the end of the year. Although in the whole, it's still less than maybe about 1 or 2% of the budget, so we're still in good shape there. And that is on the official agenda number 17.26.
All right, and letter N is authorizing the sale of non-conforming lots to contiguous owners. Both the mayor and Councilman Burns in particular, I know the whole council has wanted to get it done, but they've worked on this, and our planner and assessor worked to finally get a list. We're actually going to ask the council to consider, right after the first of the year, to do a follow-up one that is for conforming lots that would actually go out to auction. But to keep things cleaner, this one only deals with non-conforming lots that would be offered to contiguous owners in that process that's allowed. It's a very, very comprehensive list, but the assessor is ready to start doing it in waves, putting out maybe 50 letters at a time and getting the people that are interested. And it's going to be it already has been a time-consuming process, but it will really go far to cleaning up the tax rolls, getting more properties to contiguous owners who want them to add to their property, and getting some land on the tax rolls that the governing body really doesn't have any need for. And that's on the official agenda as item number 17.23.
And lastly, 4O, again, the last of the cleanups. This is a resolution of canceling balances of $5 or less of taxes and special charges for the tax year 2019 and prior. There are a total of 626 properties. We're canceling balances, but the amount only amounts to $878.65. And that is on the official agenda number 17.9.
Thank you. Comments from the mayor?
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. I just want to take this opportunity to wish everyone and their families a very happy New Year, a very joyous holiday season, and a Merry Christmas. I know we're all looking forward to a prosperous 2021 for our township and all its residents. This past year, 2020, has certainly been challenging for everyone. As you know, the federal and state governments declared a medical state of emergency due to the novel coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. We have experienced stay-at-home orders, mandatory closures of all non-essential businesses, and limited openings of essential businesses as well. Due to safety concerns, government buildings closed and schools went virtual learning. I'd just like to publicly thank all of our public employees who came to work each and every day, providing our taxpayers the important services our residents have come to expect. I'd also like to thank all of our first responders, medical professionals, and all essential workers. You know who you are: truck drivers, supermarket checkers, those who stocked the shelves, those who provided transportation, all the plumbers and electricians. If I go through the list, I'll hit every one, but you know who you are, and we want to say thank you very much for your contribution during the pandemic. Here in Berkeley Township, the COVID-19 has caused a negative impact on our community. As of today, as of 20 minutes ago, there was 1,796 residents that have contracted COVID-19, and sadly, 123 of those residents have sadly passed away. So our thoughts and prayers go out to the families of those who passed away due to COVID-19. As the mayor, along with each and every one of you, we will continue to do what we need to do to be done, needs to be done to keep our residents safe and secure. I'd also like to publicly thank all of the residents of our town who have been doing their part to help flatten the curve. We're all looking forward to 2021 with a great deal of hope and returning to a normal daily routine. I also want to take this opportunity to thank our outgoing council president, Keith Buscio, for his leadership this year. There was certainly a challenging year. You hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Certainly it's been a challenging year, as I mentioned, for the Township Council working with the administration. I just want to thank Council President Buscio for his leadership. Kind of reminded me back in 2013 when Councilman Burns was council president when we went through Sandy. Even though we didn't have the destruction and damage that we had in Sandy, we certainly had our certain string of issues that needed to be addressed. So I just want to take that opportunity. I have some other good news to report. We received, since the last meeting, we received notification from the Department of Transportation that we received a $401,500 DOT municipal aid grant. And then we also received a letter from the Deputy Chief of Staff, Vanessa Holman, on behalf of DOT Commissioner Diane Gutierrez Tichetti, that they're pleased to inform us that the New Jersey DOT has a resurfacing project known as Route 9 resurfacing, Jones to Longboat, which begins in Lakey Township and proceeds north to Beechwood Borough. This project will repave Route 9 and will upgrade the signalized intersection. Recently, as we all know, New Jersey Natural Gas has been upgrading their service along the Route 9 corridor. Most of their work has been done at nighttime, minimizing impact and delays during regular rush hour traffic. Their pavement repairs are also of a temporary nature. The DOT has anticipated beginning the repaving project in spring of 21. However, as an interim measure, once the gas company is done, the DOT maintenance forces will be fixing some of the makeshift holes that are left by New Jersey Natural Gas. So there'll be some minimal paving on Route 9 where they feel the distress to preserve the roadway, so they improve the improvement project in the spring. So this is welcome news. We've been concerned about the deteriorating condition of Route 9, and of course, it has exacerbated been a lot worse since the gas company has come in. Switching gears to the municipal aid program, the $401,500 is going to help the township with the reconstruction of Butler Boulevard, the section Bayview to Butler Beach. It's going to be a good project. You know, Butler Boulevard, as many of you know, in case there's anybody listening who do not know, Butler Boulevard is in the Bayview section of Berkeley Township. At the end, Superstorm Sandy decimated the end of Butler Boulevard, including some of the surrounding streets and Butler Beach. The scope of the work will be Butler Boulevard, Bayview Avenue to Butler Beach, as I mentioned, including the project will be repairing and replacing drainage and milling and paving the entire length. Also part of the grant, and the town has to put in some additional funds. We anticipate about $110,000 will be put in by the township in the 2021 capital budget. The drainage at the intersection of North Bay Drive and Boulevard will be fixed, and also the remaining section of North Bay Drive will also be paved along with parking lot improvements at Butler Beach. And that's at the end of Butler Beach. If you all recall, after Sandy, the playground was decimated, and thanks to a grant we received from Alexandria's Playground, they came in and donated the equipment, and a bunch of us and members of the general public all participated in filling the playground grant. So we're really, really excited about the grant, and more excited about the Route 9 because it is a mess. It is an absolute mess. So just want to thank our recreation department. We did not have an official tree lighting, but our recreation staff did put the Christmas tree on the stage, and it has been lit since the beginning of the month. I also want to thank our recreation department. This year, we couldn't do the Santa's calling because you're not allowed to have more than 10 people indoor, and we usually get between 20 and 30, sometimes 40 volunteers to make the phone call. So what we did this year is we converted to a Santa letter. So our recreation department over the last few weeks has been sending out letters from Santa Claus to about over 400 to 500 kids in our community. And then lastly, because of the COVID-19, our concert schedule was abbreviated. We did start a drive-in movie at the Veterans Park, and it worked out well for the summer. And since we had one scheduled, we scheduled one for Christmas, and it happened to be on a great day, and Friday night, December 11th. That was that weekend where the weather was really warm, so it worked out great. We had nearly 100 cars there to see the movie. So just once again, I want to thank each and every member of the council for their support this year. It was challenging. I want to thank our chairman of our finance committee, John Vacchione, who has done a phenomenal job working with the finance committee, Councilman Buscio, Councilwoman Sophia Gingrich, and of course, administrative staff, myself, Fred Evanu, and John Cameron, to keep things moving on a steady flow. And then, it's just been one of those years. We all look forward to 2021. And I may have some additional comments at the end, but at this time I will defer the microphone. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilman Bacchione?
Thank you, Councilman Burns, Council President Emeritus. I have a brief year in review for our Finance Committee that I'd like to go over or read to you, my colleagues here. 2020 was a tough year, but we survived. Some of the issues the Finance Committee worked on this year with the mayor and his administration were as follows. The Finance Committee worked with the administration getting through a very tough bond market early this year when the interest rates were climbing. We timed the market just right in obtaining a very good interest rate for our bonds, saving taxpayers thousands of dollars and maintaining our AA- bond rating. In a year when it cost more than $1 million in COVID-19 expenses from the budget, the Finance Committee worked with the administration and with the use of reserves and receivables offset the COVID expenses while at the same time not overspending the budget as we wait for reimbursement for the COVID expenses. The Finance Committee reviewed all three authorities, water, sewer, and housing, for assurances of fiscal stability. The Finance Committee worked on the 2020 budget with the mayor and his administration and was able to produce another fair and equitable budget for the good continued services and residents of the township has come to know and expect. In working with the mayor and administration as Finance Committee Chair, I'm also pleased to report the annual audit has shown the finances are in very good shape, and there were no comments or recommendations in that audit. While 2020 was a difficult year, as I mentioned, for all involved, we learned about substantial items which we will be retooling in 2021 and continue to work with the mayor and his administration for continued physical integrity. I also would like to mention at this time to my colleagues here on the dais, the professionals who work for the town, our administrators, people who are here in audience and people who are going to be watching this, that there came an opportunity on the Ocean County Freeholder / Commissioners Board of an opening, a seat opening. I am going to take that opportunity to apply for that position. It's a long road. The election won't happen until November 2021, but I am putting my hat in the ring to run for that seat. And I want to thank all my colleagues here on the dais and on the phone for your support. It means a lot to me that you guys and ladies support this idea that I have to run for this soon-to-be commissioner's seat in Ocean County. So I want to thank you for that. I want to take this moment also to reach out and wish a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all of us here in Berkeley Township. I hope everyone stays safe and sound. In particular, a special holiday greeting goes out to Sue Miller. I'm sorry I missed her here today, but I wish her a very happy holiday. Thank you, President Emeritus.
Thank you. Councilwoman Gingrich?
Good evening, everyone. John, we want to wish you all the best of luck
Thank you.
running for freeholder. You make a great freeholder.
Thank you, Sophie.
Okay. Tomorrow, Tuesday, December 22nd, at the Rec Center at 630 Route 9, we will be giving out free turkeys to all the residents that come between 12 and 4. And on Wednesday, 12/23, we are giving out Christmas dinners at the Manitou Firehouse on 4th de France at 12 o'clock noon. I really would like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and hopefully 2021 will bring us a healthy new year and that we will all be happy and be back here again in January. Thank you all, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sophie.
Councilman Signorelli?
I don't have anything. but I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a healthy, Happy New Year and Happy Holiday to everyone.
Thank you. Councilman Godano?
Thank you, Council President Burns. First, I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. I want to thank President Bushio for doing a great job this year. And also, I just want to mention to everybody out there that's looking for a last-minute Christmas gift, our Berkeley Township Recreation Center is selling each badges right now at a pre-season sale for $35 until February 1st, and then the price will go up. So if you're looking for a last-minute present, or you want to save on beach badges, you need to do it before February 1st to get the $35 savings. That's it, Mr. Council President Burns.
Thank you. Councilman Gross is out. Okay, we all wish him a speedy recovery. Just goes to show you what it can do to a healthy guy. All right. And Council President Bushio.
Thank you, Interim Council President Burns. I just want to thank the mayor for his kind words and Councilman Godano. Yeah, everyone's right. It was a really challenging environment this year, but I want to thank everyone from the township in terms of the staff, the administration, our professionals. I mean, it's just like the mayor said, you can go on and just name everybody: sanitation, law enforcement, first responders. You know, that's the way they always say, you know, when it comes to a crisis, it's doing the right thing at the right time. And I have to say that we did that. And I want to thank my fellow council members for the collaborative effort and teamwork to get the job done and do what's right for the taxpayers in our town. I enjoyed the past 12 months. I wish I could have been there in the president's chair a little bit more, but I think at the end of the day we got the job done. And I want to wish everyone a happy holiday and a healthy, and I emphasize a healthy 2021. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President Bushio. I have, the mayor had mentioned the Route 9 project. As you drive up and down Route 9, you know, this is a good time for us to clean it up. I know the engineer is working and the mayor for the exit at ShopRite to come at the traffic light. It should be done by then, but also there's still signs up from Area Brothers and Woodhaven, and you know, it should be one building, one sign. So we really need to clean up Route 9 after the first of the year. And Councilman Bacchione, we went to the county freeholders meeting, and I did talk to John Ernst, the engineer, about Butler Boulevard. As you know, there's going to be a future dog park at that intersection, and there's a lot of school buses stop at that intersection. So we're going to be paving Butler Boulevard, and as you know, people complain about the potholes, but once you pave it, then they're all doing 100 miles an hour. So we did talk about making that intersection a four-way stop. Also, there was a land sale at the freeholders meeting, and I know Councilman Bacchione is on the land trust, but it was the county buying public land from a municipality. And I don't know if that's ever been done before, but public land is public land, no matter who owns it. So, you know, they just bought land, I think it was almost $2 million from Dover Township, Toms River, but that did not come out of the land trust money. And I'm, you know, glad that Councilman Bacchione is, you know, back onto that land trust so he can keep an eye on it. Also, there was a spot open for a library committee, and I went to the meeting and recommended Sophia Gingrich, but the freeholders wound up, they chose somebody from Bayhead at this time. But, you know, maybe next trip we could get Sophia and get a seniors active on the library. It is one of the best library systems around. Last night I was over at Seaside Park, and I heard noise, and I thought it was the generator over at the little pump station, but it turned out it's the dredging on over by Berkeley Shores. and it was like it was right in the backyard there, and I've been getting complaints up and down, but, you know, that's the sounds of progress, and maybe during the public comment, the Waterways Committee, Bill McGrath could report, or the engineer, about, you know, how that dredging project's going, and this is the time of year you have to do it, so we're sorry about the inconvenience. But also, there's been some complaints about the golf course, about some of the carts not working. You know, we had the 2 warm days and everybody went out and played golf. The problem is, you know, you can't, they give a tee time at 8 o'clock, but if there's frost, you can't get out till 9, 10 o'clock. So it was all backed up. There was carts that weren't working. I asked the attorney today to see just how that contract ran. You know, I'll be talking to the administrator. Maybe we can meet with Harry over there and try to get things smoothed out for the spring, so we get a great season over there. All right, did we ever post dates and times for the annex, when the annex is open?
Yes, I don't know them off the top of my head, but they're not only
It is
set,
posted?
they're posted, yes.
Okay.
And actually, if you don't mind, while you mentioned that, it's been very active. Councilman Guadagno mentioned the preseason beach band sales, and they had tremendous sales. I think it was just last Friday when they opened. They were really busy over there, so
Great.
people have been taking advantage of it.
Thank you. Sound like a broken record, but the demos, there's still houses that have had electricity disconnected since Sandy that are still out in there waiting to be demoed. You know, you have some eyesores up and down Route 9. I think after the first of the year, we need to really crack down on these demos. And if it takes our attorneys to go to court and get them torn down, you know, then we'll get it done. But there's a lot of eyesores still out there. Also, there's been some complaints about, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden there's a surge in gun permits. I know I've never had one, and I just filed for one, but I wound up going to Pennsylvania for fingerprints. They said that New Jersey was months booked up, and I wound up going to Pennsylvania, and it was done in about 10 minutes, but you know, it's backed up, and I did talk to Deputy Chief Santucci, and we're not alone with the backup. It seems like everybody and his brother wants to purchase firearms. But I did talk to him, and every other municipality, we're probably 100 in the pile there. But if the Deputy Chief wants to add something to that.
Yeah, I just pulled up I had an email from Marcy Novelina, who's our records personnel that is in charge of that. And as of the middle of November this year, well, last year at this time, middle of November, from January 1 to November 12th, we had 269 firearms applications. Same time frame this year, it's 1,526. So it's a little more than 5.5 times more the amount, with the same amount of personnel. And then there's time during COVID that some of that personnel had been out also on top of that. So speaking to other agencies throughout the state, they're all seeing, like you said, they're all seeing the same influx of the amount of, like, the increase in applications, and they're all backed up.
Your application process is great. You just, if you have a problem, you just call Marcy and
Yeah.
she'll walk you through it. But it took me about a week to get the application in, fingerprinted, references.
Now it's all online through
And now we
the
sit.
links on our website and the state police website.
Yeah.
So it actually makes it a lot easier for them. Everything's time stamped when they, a lot of times there was, in the past, when people complained about not getting permits, and it was on their end where they were holding it up. So we can go back and say, well, we
Funny
haven't
little
received
election
this.
they'll do, huh? I don't know, one last thing, if anybody did hear the Attorney General today, they indicted the third person on that plane crash, Pan Am, back in 1988.
Yep.
They indicted him in Libya today, but he just went over some quick details. That plane was 5.5 miles in the air when it blew up. When it landed in 850 square miles of an area. And they found a piece of a Samsonite luggage that was like 1 inch squared. It was purchased in Libya. They found clothes throughout this area that were purchased in, like, Mary's, you know, hats and whatever in Libya. And they also found 25 miles off of that was a piece of the transistor radio or whatever it was at the time, that was in that suitcase. So 30 years later, this is amazing how things come up. But they're finally going to try them, and they're going to try to extradite them to the United States after 30 years. So this will be great closure for those families. And I just want to wish everybody a safe and happy Merry Christmas and New Year. Be safe.
Mr. Council President Pro Tem, if I may.
Go ahead.
Just to dovetail with Councilwoman Gingrich has said, and I just want to thank Sophia for her all year long working with the food banks. We had, we collected food, Star Points, Realty, Roe Maloof, and all of her agents sent out a notice to a couple neighborhoods that they were going to take Santa around, and they were collecting food, and also the Holiday City Heights Men's Club also collected a lot of food. So we have a lot of food to distribute tomorrow, so I'm inviting, as Councilwoman Gingrich had mentioned, tomorrow from 1 to 3, there'll be the distribution at the Recreation Center. I will be there tomorrow. I'll take my lunch to go over there because we really had a good core of volunteers all year round collecting and distributing food for our residents that required it. And in the beginning, it was pretty busy, and then like March and April, it was busy, and then it kind of died off a little bit, which is good as people went back to work, and now we hit the holidays, and we just wanted to, we did another food drive distribution for Thanksgiving, and then we're doing this one for Christmas. So if you have an opportunity to come out tomorrow, that would be great. You can see the food. And I just want to congratulate Councilman John Bacchione for throwing his hat in the ring. We wish him all the luck in the world. I know John has already started to work very hard. We want to thank Freeholder Jerry Little for his 5 decades of public service. It started when he was a youngster joining the Marines until his public service career as a councilman in Surf City and councilman in Long Beach Township, and then ultimately a freeholder when the late great James Mancini passed away. And it's a great opportunity for our community. And we wish John nothing but the best. And I want to thank Council President Buscio and all 7 members of the council. Well, of course, John knows for himself, but the other 6 members of the council who unanimously endorsed John's candidacy. This is something that's a long time coming for our community, and we wish John nothing but the best. Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem.
Thank you. One other thing, I was approached, we have a resident that offered to build a VA clinic in Berkeley Township. It sounds easy, but I've been in touch with the VA, and it seems like Route 37 is the difference between Philadelphia and East Orange. There's a lot of blocks there, but talking with the mayor and the administrator, maybe we can meet with the congressman. But I know that CVS is opening up urgent cares for veterans. There's one in Jackson and one in Bricktown. But maybe this individual could get some type of a urgent care clinic in Berkeley or whatever. But after we kind of work through this, we'll let you know what's going on. All right, thank you. Discussion by the town engineer.
Thank you, Councilman. Item 6A is award of a contract for the Eastern Boulevard Soccer Complex field lighting, the Musco Sports field lighting, in the amount of $266,062. It's through the National Co-op, and it's on the official item 17.16, and that is for both installation and furnishing and installation of the lighting. Item 6B is a contract change order to the 2018 road program that was performed by one of the consultants in your engineering pool, Alimo Associates, and it's a contract change order, a decrease in the amount of $3,378.48. and they recommended that change order. It's on the official item 17.17. That's it, thank you.
Yeah, I'd also like to thank the town engineer and his staff did a lot of work this year on some of the drainage projects. We went out and looked at Evergreen again, and they just patched up Teakwood, and I know they're looking hard over in Holiday City, so thanks for you and your staff, all the work you did all year. Thank you. Well, your staff anyhow. Discussion by town clerk.
Item A is the ABC license renewal for 2020-2021 for Berkeley Beverage Inc. It's a pocket license. They're renewing. They are actually in the process of selling the license, and we're just going for renewal at this time. Everything's been checked out and they've been approved to renew. It's on the official item 17.18. Item B is firefighter approvals. We have Tyler T. Nelson for the Manitou Park Fire Company and Mackenzie Vulgaris for the Bayville Fire Company. Backgrounds have been completed and everybody's been approved. So they're on the official as items 17.19 and 17.20. Item C is junkyard license approvals. We have the two junkyards, the one on Double Trouble Road here, exit 77, and the one out on 9, Cosmos, Ocean County Recycling. They've paid their fees and our departments have all approved them. I need just an approval so that I can go ahead and send them their licenses. Is there a motion for approval?
Motion for approval?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
I have one question on the junkyards. I know I brought it up a while back that are they inspected and how are they followed through year to year? So if they did walk out of town, if we'd be stuck with a mess, how's that done? Does anybody know?
Our code enforcement does check out to see that they're in compliance as to what our ordinances are. I don't know if they walked away. I don't know what what would happen to us with that. But I know that as they're going along, when they do apply, different agencies have to check out and make sure they're complying with it.
Okay, so while they're renewed, they have a clean bill of health?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Councilman Bacchione?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gingrich?
Yes.
Councilman Burns?
Yes.
Councilman Signorelli?
Yes.
Councilman Godano?
Yes.
Council President Buccio?
Yes.
Okay, does any council people...
Wait, I still have the towing licenses.
Where's that at?
The next one.
Okay.
Next one. There are 5 towing applications. These are annual approvals. The police department does backgrounds on them. We have Midland Motors, Jersey Shore Towing, Price Right Towing, Accurate Towing, and Midnight Towing. They've all been checked out by our police department and they recommend approval. Can I get an approval
Can I
on
have a motion,
that?
please?
Make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Bacchione?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gingrich?
Yes.
Councilman Burns?
Yes.
Councilman Signorelli?
Yes.
Councilman Godano?
Yes.
Council President Buccio?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, before we have public comments, Council President Buccio, do you have any other comments, or Councilman Godano?
I'm good, thank you. I'm
Okay.
good, Councilman.
Okay, the meeting's now open for public comment. Bill McGrath? Come on, Fred, don't be shy.
Bill McGrath, 339 Bayview Avenue, Chairman of the Waterway Commission. On the dredging project, right now the dredge is sitting off of Amherst Beach. They'll be doing across Amherst Beach and the lagoon going into Bowsprit, and then the main channel in through Amherst Inlet up for 1,100 feet, and then when they're done with that, then they're going to go to Good Luck Point. We had two complaints One complaint was on Amherst, from a person on Amherst Drive. They complained about the noise because they're dredging 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And a gentleman at the end of Travelers, I'm not going to mention any names, but a gentleman at the end of Travelers, and we talked to both of them. Once we explained why they were going 24 hours 7, the gentleman at Travelers was fine with it. Was not that successful with the other individual. The reason it's a 24-hour operation is because they have to be out of there by January 10th because of the environmental regulations for winter flounder spawning. There's a very short window of when you're allowed to dredge. You can't do it in the summer with all the boating traffic. So that's the reason why it's a 24-hour operation. What they're doing with the dredge spoils is unique. It's an experiment. It's only been done in 2 other places in New Jersey, one down in Fortescue. What they're doing with the dredge spoils is they're going to spray it on the low-lying mud flats in the Forsyth Wildlife Reserve to build up the elevation of the mud flats so that they could plant Spartina, salt marsh. A report that the Nature Conservancy gave us last year said that we have lost in Berkeley Township 187 acres of salt marsh in the last 10 years through erosion and whatnot, storms and whatever. And what they're trying to do is restore the salt marsh because that's what takes the nitrogen out of the water, which pollutes the bay. So basically, we're trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. Fred, I don't know, that's why I wanted Fred to come up, because he had talked to the contractor, the foreman, and he said they'd be out there by the end of December, Fred? It was on Saturday. Here's Fred Vicarian, Yard Arm, he's the secretary of the Waterway Advisory Commission. Go ahead.
I just want to actually thank everyone who supported the Waterways Commission on this. This started over 2 years ago, and to get the kind of a project of this sort with the extensive dredging at no cost to the township, we really thank the council and the mayor for their support of the commission in pursuing this. This is going to settle some dredging issues we've had for a long time, especially the Amherst Inlet. They're going to go about 1,100 feet up the inlet, and they're going to get rid of some high spots that have always been a problem with, especially sailboats. And there has been problems at the mouth of the inlet with people hitting their props. Dredging nitrogen only, they're going down 6 feet, and that's going to resolve issues for a long time. And I've already spoken to Bill and also president of the Berkeley Shores Homeowner Civic Association about an advisement letter of some kind to the entire neighborhood of Berkeley Shores, not just membership, because we are only able to get to about 1/3 of them. So we'll be working on that through the commission to advise everybody, and also to advise them of what their responsibility is to making sure our lagoons have proper depth, and that is by watching their wakes and doing the things that need to be done to protect that. $2 million is a lot of money that the township did not have to put out, and we've got to extend this dredging project and make sure that we enjoy good depths for as long as we can before it needs to be done again. So I thank everyone here for their cooperation in getting this done. Now, we have had some complaints, and maybe some people just don't fully understand. They don't like the noise at night, but they've got to understand the benefit that's going to come to them as a result of this dredging project. They're going to really enjoy their summers, and I don't think we're going to have any more complaints for a long time. We've never had a dredger in the area. We've usually done our dredging with backhoes and equipment that doesn't make noise, and they're certainly not working at night. So more to come on this. We'll be working on some advisement to the whole neighborhood so they understand.
Mr. Council President Pro Tem, and I jump in there with a few words?
Sure.
As Chairman McGrath and Waterways Commission member Fred Precarian mentioned, this started over 2 years ago to try to deal with the boats and the problems they're having getting out of those inlets. And we pushed really, really hard, and we're really fortunate to get this work done. And I want to thank the Waterways Commission for their cooperation. Of course, I want to thank the state of New Jersey for funding this project. As was just mentioned by Fred, this is $2 million worth of dredging that's going to be paid for by the state of New Jersey, not the taxpayers of Berkeley Township. I mean, we're all taxpayers. We pay taxes to the state, we pay taxes to the Fed. So essentially, it is our money anyway. But these projects are worthwhile, especially to our maritime community who had to endure the situation of not the lack of dredging. I mean, we, as Fred has mentioned, we do go there right before Memorial Day, and Steve gets go out there and take some dredge spoils, take some spoils out over by the Amherst Inlet to try to alleviate that situation. But this job is $2 million, and it's being funded by the state, so we're really, really, really happy that we're able to get this done. I feel sorry. I did get a few phone calls and tried to explain to the residents that it's only temporary, but it needs to be done now. I'm not going to repeat what Fred and Bill had mentioned. It's a very small window, but I just want to thank, of course, Councilman Burns from the Ward 1, who kept on top of this on behalf of the township, along with the Waterways Commission. So this is just a great project. We're happy to get it done, and as mentioned, it'll be little bumps for the next few weeks, but they're moving pretty quickly. So, thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
I'd also like to thank the mayor, because the mayor had a large part to do when we had the meeting in the room over here a year and a half ago with the Department of Transportation, because that's who's doing the dredging. We complained that the dredging, that they were, when these dredging projects first came on the board, it was right after they passed the 23-cent gas tax, and they had all these plans for Bricktown and Dover, and there was nothing, very little done here in Berkeley. And I'm sure the mayor's connections with, at that time, Governor Christie, we set up the meeting here with the Department of Transportation, and I would like to thank the mayor, because that's where it initiated, and then from there, they put the more projects for Berkeley Township on the board. Thank you.
Yeah, I personally want to thank the Waterways and Bill McGrath. I know you contacted the Coast Guard when they didn't have the proper lighting on the dredge this week, and took care of that. So, you take a lot of pressure off the town, what you guys do. I know there's other projects, going south from there, but, some of those inlets were 2 feet deep. Everybody was hitting. How many homes are in the Berkeley shores there?
We estimate 1,100 to 1,200.
So that's about 1,200 people that are being serviced there. All right, thank you. Any other public comment? Okay, at this time, I'll close the public comment.
Is there a motion?
Make that motion.
Second it.
Roll call.
Councilman Bacchione.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gingrich.
Yes.
Councilman Burns.
Yes.
Councilman Signorelli.
Yes.
Councilman Gadano.
Yes.
Council President Bushio.
Yes.
At this time, Jim Morris, do you want to discuss this, or we're going to discuss this later? Want to touch it, or
that
this
would be
is...
on the
public
regular-
hearing,
yeah.
For the public.
Yeah, that would be the
Okay,
irregular agenda.
okay. Thank you. Resolution for closed session.
I also want to mention that we're going to have the reorganization meeting on January 4th at 6 p.m. I want to make sure everybody's aware of that, January 4th at 6 p.m. Item, resolution number 20-471-R regarding closed session. Whereas we are about to discuss matters which deal with one or more of the statutory exceptions under the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, which allows the exclusion of the public during said discussions, and whereas the matters to be discussed relate to personnel, contractual, and pending litigation. Whereas this may be disclosed to the public at a time when the necessity for confidentiality no longer exists or within 6 months or less from the date hereof. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Berkeley, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey as follows. One, that the Township Council shall retire into executive session where the public shall be excluded and where said matters shall be discussed and formal action may be taken with regard thereto. Two, that at the minutes of this executive session shall be closed from the public inspection and shall so remain until a reason for confidentiality ceases to exist or upon formal action by the Township Council and an official meeting within 6 months or less. Three, that at the termination of said executive session, the meeting would be adjourned. Is there a motion to approve?
Make the motion.
Second? I'll second.
Okay.
Roll
Who's
call?
stepping down in second?
Councilman Bacchione?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gingrich?
Yes.
Councilman Burns?
Yes.
Councilman Signorelli? Councilman Godano?
Yes.
Council President Bushio?
Yes.
Thank you.